Are you wondering what your favorite wacky nerds are up to? Search for Campaigns of the Plains on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and make sure to follow and like us to keep up with all our content and news. You might also find exclusive content for fans only. Remember to catch us on YouTube every Friday at noon for a new episode of Campaigns of the Plains.
All right, well, welcome to a very special one-shot episode. As you can see, we are missing a couple of our compatriots, but that's okay. That's why we do these one-shots, for you guys' entertainment, for us, just to have fun in the meantime. So this particular episode is going to be based on Dungeons & Dragons and a little bit of Clue. So it's also going to set place in our Eberron setting. If you guys haven't watched Mystery on the Midnight Veil or Murder on the Midnight Veil, I don't remember what it was called.
I feel like it was Mystery.
I think it was Mystery.
It was a while ago. Don't hate, okay?
Yeah.
It was a whole different pandemic ago.
It was really good. And if you haven't watched it, yet, highly recommend you go back, because there will be some reoccurring.
Oh my god, if the chef is not in this fucking game, I'm going to throw a fit!
This chair is flying.
What was his name? He was like a rep.
He's like King! He's like King!
Oh, he's my favorite. How did I
If
forget
he's not
about
the
him?
chef, if he doesn't appear, I'm gonna throw a fit.
What if he's the one that's murdered?
You would never!
You will die, Josh.
Never!
We will have no more of any of our
It
shows.
just turns into Saw and he gets up at the end.
Oh, man. Anyway, there will be some reoccurring themes tonight from that particular episode. Not anything that you can't just deal without, but I mean, it is still a lot of fun seeing those reoccurring themes pop up. And
It's like the Marvel movies, it's in the same universe, but different storylines.
I think it's even looser than the Marvel universe, to be honest with you. I mean, it's I don't know what to. Maybe it's DCU.
It's like what they were trying.
Definitely better than that.
It's like what they were trying to do with that new Mummy movie, that monster universe.
Oh yeah.
Different storylines, same characters, really confusing. We're confused. You're confused. It's gonna be a fun.
It's better than that.
We're not canceling this project.
Yeah.
We aren't. We're gonna have a good time. Someone's gonna die tonight.
Yep. So I mean, maybe multiple people. Who the hell knows?
I said someone. Someone's. The S was in parentheses. This is what parentheses look like.
I don't have a lot of health, so probably me.
So, just a couple quick reminders, of course, for our regular stuff. Every Wednesday, we drop a new podcast for a new episode. So, if you guys haven't caught up on other things, I even think Mystery is on the Midnight Veil is actually on the podcast at the time of this recording.
By the time that you are watching this, we will be 100% sure it's there.
Yeah, at the very least. So if you don't want to watch it on YouTube, you can go ahead and find it at any podcast listening station. The major ones, Google, Spotify, and Apple Music should be there. So go and check it out. And of course, every Friday, new episodes of whatever campaign we are on. At the time of this recording, we are playing a D&D Final Fantasy campaign, so we will see where this one ends up at. But anyway, maybe I'll just kill all their other characters. Then what?
At the time of this recording, you might know more than we do right now.
Oh,
that's
fair.
strange.
No, at the time of they're listening to this, we'll know more than they do. But we don't know anything
but
now.
the people that we are right now in this box, they would know more than we do currently, but at the time they watch it, we'll know more. This is a whole thing.
This is some Donnie
this is like the whole thing with his character, with the...
Okay. Anyway.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
It's strange. Who are we to judge? Anyway. So... as we get in, I'll kind of set the setting here. We are in Eberron. This particular version of Eberron is more like a 1920s U.S. kind of setting. So there are private eyes, there's old ads for giant billboards. There is a burgeoning magical and also mechanical manufacturers all around. So there's steam pipes and coal pipes coming up from inner city crime, PIs, that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, that's where we're going to be setting here today. The four of you have received letters from a certain Duke of Tremblon. Those letters should be in front of you.
I was told not to open them.
You may open them now. Please, poker faces all around if you can. Do not read these out loud, as there are sections labeled in there private. So, please, do not read them out loud.
Oh my god, it's a dick pic!
Wow. She already let the cat.
Why? I told you, it's private!
It's private!
Is it a big Dragonborn donger?
I mean, the Duke of Tramwell is a Dragonborn.
This isn't that big enough of a sheet of paper, I don't think.
That's good.
Just a map to a dick pic.
This is where you can find
This is your clue.
A dick mural.
What?
A dick mural.
Follow
Yes.
this map to the dick pic.
Follow your nose.
Okay, this is cool.
I try to give you guys some physical props this time around just to make it a little more...
Physical props are the best.
Right? Something you can hold in your hand and just have a lot of fun with. I love it.
So when does the Beetle and Grim partnership come in?
So I while you guys are reading the rest of it, I am going to read the first part of it that is public. You all should receive the same invite. So it will say, dear, whatever your character's name is, we will find out here in a few minutes. You are cordially invited to celebrate one of the greatest inventors of our age, the Honorable Shafendrinos Zarkul III, Lord of Drakgard Hall and Duke of Trammel, for his 68th birthday celebration. Gifts are accepted, but not necessary, as your presence is a gift unto itself. Please present the enclosed pass to board the private train, the Midnight Vale, no later than 1900 hours on the 26th day of Nim. The train station located at 3215 West Mysterium Way is your destination. The train shall be furnished with beverages and hors d'oeuvres for the travel, but please do not spoil your appetite, as our master chef has prepared a hearty 7-course meal. There will be an open house of the newly remodeled Drakgard Hall before dinner is served, so feel free to show yourselves around. No area on the main floor is off limits. Festivities will conclude with a speech that includes a wonderful surprise for the guests themselves. With best regards, the estate of Shafendrinos Zarkul III, Duke of Trammel. Now, in those letters, you are going to be assigned a role. So, the rules in the private part of the letter states how you may win the game, basically, what your goals are for the evening. So, again, please keep that private to yourself, as we do not want to spoil what's going on. So beforehand, just to give you guys at home a clue yourselves, I had our players all choose a number and randomly rolled to find out who was going to be the killer tonight. So we'll post those on our social media, as well as I also rolled, since we are using an actual clue board and actual clue items, I rolled to see what the murder weapon was and what the room was. So tonight, our players will have to investigate to find out not only who done it, what their drive is behind the murder, what the weapon is, and where the murder was perpetrated. There are things that are going to happen with extraneous rules, but we'll get to that in just a moment. But I have all the answers in this card right here. So this will be with safekeeping for me tonight. We also did have our two players that are not here currently actually make up a couple characters for me to play, and who knows, they might also be the killer.
Before you finish watching this or continue watching this, you should put who your guesses are in the comments, because that would be real fun to see who you thought, who it ended up being. I think it's Josh.
It's always me. just to let you guys know, this is, or could end up being, a free-for-all. If you guys decide to attack each other, if you guys decide to attack each other's character, not like physically, but by leaving little clues or lying to somebody asking questions or anything like that, it's D&D rules tonight. So you're going to be doing investigating, you're going to be doing maybe a little bit of charming, maybe a little bit of lying, maybe just a little good old-fashioned scrapping. So
I was a little bit concerned when you gave us all free the Tavern Brawler.
I was like, what?
Oh, yes.
And when you said attack each other, my brain went to, I'm just going to stand and punch Christian. He's the killer.
Not even Christian's character, but Christian himself.
Yeah. I myself, in real life, took the Tavern Brawler feat.
Yep. That's a really cool thing. Like I said, we're using all of the normal clue areas. So, obviously, let me take a look here real quick. Just give you guys the rundown. That'd be really cool if you did put something in the comments to let us know what you think. The murder weapons tonight will be a pistol, a dagger, lead pipe, rope, or a wrench. And the areas that the murder could take place are the hall, the library, the conservatory, the ballroom, the dining room, the lounge, the kitchen, and the billiard room. Also the study. Yep, that one was sticky right in the front. So, so we have... Also, the 4 players will introduce each other, or 6 players that'll introduce each other, so you can also guess and see, maybe if one of you gets right, maybe we'll do something. I don't know, what could do I could do the truffle shuffle from the Goonies, I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway.
Or you could help us build an NPC in our main campaign.
Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty cool, too. Hutch agrees.
Hutch wants to be the NPC in our main campaign.
Maybe.
Or he wants to play Clue with us.
Yeah, maybe.
It was Hutch. I'm changing my guess. It was Hutch.
It was Hutch all along? Fair enough.
With a can of tuna. In the kitchen.
All right. So we come to the day that is announced on the invitations that you've all received. And you make your way through... the city as the sun has already gone down, and here in the vast metropolis, it is not magic lights that light your way, it is gas lamps. So you have this really yellow filter of people going around and actually lighting the gas lamps. The lightmen are going around at this time and making sure that the gas lamps are lit. And they're really the only ones that you see on the street. The billboards on the taller buildings are also lit by gaslight as well, so you got this yellowish tone for things like new automated soldiers, and there is a war effort going on, so there's bonds being sold. There's also a couple of inventions from the Duke of Trammell that you see. One in particular that he has not released yet, but has had a great amount of hype, the self-recharging Zeus battery, which he says is going to revolutionize anything that needs power. So it is something that maybe some of you have an idea of what it is, but you all gather at the platform, and you see that the normal platform has been cleared. So there's really nobody around here besides yourselves and what appears to be a large black and purple train with cars facing the north. And
right?
Are you uncomfortable? He's really following you.
He's like, stay down.
But you do see 2 conductors on the outside. They are both warforged, of a smaller make. And they step out onto the platform, or at least one does, and says, "All aboard!"
Okay.
You go in first?
Yeah.
Go ahead and describe your character to us then.
Okay. Okay. Name too, or?
Not if you don't want to introduce yourself. No?
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay, cool. Okay, my character is a half-orc female. She's like kind of got that like light grayish kind of skin. And she's got, little tuskies. And they've actually got little like jeweled bands on them. And she's got her hair up in like a slicked back like bun. And she's wearing a full pantsuit. But the front is
Is that it's Hillary?
Yeah, she's Hillary.
I love Hillary.
Yeah, no, the front's unbuttoned, and you can see she's wearing like a low like corseted like waist, and then she's got like a all black suit, but the top is like a light gray, like a gray color, and she has a little creature sitting on her shoulder.
All right. And so you step up to...
She's got mad, crazy heels, stiletto heels on, too. I don't know.
Sure.
She's dressed very nice.
So you step up to the Warforge and hand him the ticket, and he punches it and says, "Right away, inside." Okay. You flash him double thumbs up. Very classy. All right. Who is going to join the train next?
I assume my guy would walk up slowly.
Okay. Go ahead and describe your character.
Okay.
You don't have to give us a class or anything, just kind of what he looks like.
Yeah, I think you'll figure it out. So he is an elderly half-elf. He is 97, so he's approaching 100 years and getting close to the end of his life. In the prime of his life, he stood upright at 6 foot 4 inches tall. Sadly, his age and life has caught up to him. He now clings hunched over to a silver and gold inlaid cane at a mere 5 foot 8. So he is
Lost quite a bit.
he's regal but still hunched over. He proudly wears the robes of his deacon role. The bottom robe is an off-white color with colorful, intricate stitching all over a thick fabric that kind of billows out from his body. The pattern is varying sizes of bold eyes. When he moves through the hall of the church or was in a private residence of a socialite, people say they can almost see the eyes blink as the fabric flows. Over this robe, he wears an ebony mantle that shimmers as if it was made of metal, and it notes his high rank in society. He wears a platinum amulet around his neck. The piece appears to be an elven chain, which is a gift from his father, with a pendant that hangs down in the shape of silver flames. His hair is pulled back into a complex braid that falls down his back. Once golden blonde hair is now slowly changing into a silvery gray to reflect his age. He wears a small circlet that's woven into this braid on the crown of his head. His eyes sparkle with a deep blue, which is the color of the midnight sky. His features are small and delicate. His face always has a wide smile as he walks the city, greeting the citizens he feels that are beneath him. His pale white skin looks wet and dewy. Some people say that work under him say that he's wearing makeup to cover his aging skin and to appeal to his own vanity. He denies these rumors and will spread his own dark lies about those beneath him.
All right.
So he would just kind of slowly move on to the train and give his tickets to the Warforge. Kind of ignore the Warforge because he does not believe they're citizens.
Real people?
Probably,
Yeah, fair enough.
He clearly sees them as machines and not as
living being.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you get your ticket punched, and you head on to the train. Next person that gets on the train is actually going to be a not super duper tall, but probably pressing about 5'8", high elf, middle-aged high elf. Not young, but not old either. Definitely has seen his fair share of things. He's got a very vacant expression where he's always kind of looking off into the distance. He's wearing a very nice suit, and he has one of the what's the hat that you have, Christian, that you took pictures in?
The fedora?
Yeah, the fedora and pinstripe jacket. And he seems to be fiddling around with or looking at pocket watch that is in the breast of his jacket. He's always taken out, kind of looking around, and he sees nobody else is getting on the train. He kind of goes, "Oh, I guess I'll go next." And he gets up there and he starts trying to make small talk with the Warforged, but the Warforged isn't really having it. He's just like, "Ticket, please, sir." And he's like, "Fine, you're all too uptight." And he pulls out his ticket, gets it punched, goes on inside. Would you like to go next?
I'll follow.
All right.
So yeah, you see a slightly taller than 6 foot human male who is wearing it's chainmail armor, but it doesn't seem to be the type of armor you'd see a soldier wearing into battle. This is more like it's got function, but it's definitely meant for events. It's a way to definitely show the city's power. So it's very shiny with like almost like platinum sheen and some gold inlays around it. Pale skin with deep brown, almost reddish tones coming out in his beard. And as he approaches the Warforged, he seems to identify it by name, almost as if he just knows who they are.
All right. Yeah, the Warforged is a little taken aback by it, as most people just kind of play them off or don't even consider them, citizenry. So he punches your ticket and says, "Very good, sir. All aboard." Would you like to go next, or do you want to let the other person standing on the platform?
I'll go.
Okay.
Okay. My male high elf comes in and he has a long jacket that's steampunk looking.
Okay. Brown or black?
Oh, bro.
Brown? Okay.
He's actually got goggles around his neck, like wearing them as a necklace. I'm afraid to disappoint you with the steampunk.
You go ahead and do it. I mean, steampunk would fit here.
Okay, cool. And then he actually looks very tired. He's hunched over. He's got like bags under his eyes, just pretty much exhausted. That's about it.
Just like hands in the ticket is like, just let me get on.
Silently, just like.
All right. So you get your ticket punched and get on, and those of you still inside peering for the last individual to board. He is a rather tall, probably about 6'3" or 4", half-orc male. He has kind of this disheveled beard and a very tired look on his face. He's wearing probably the best suit that he could throw together at the time. It is not socialite standard. It is probably a bit too big on him in places. In fact, it's kind of a little bit billowy in places and hasn't probably been hemmed quite right. His front of his shirt, one half is kind of tucked in, like maybe he just got off of working or something along those lines. His tie is kind of loosened up a little bit. His over jacket is not buttoned up. And he kind of just goes up to the Warforged and kind of grunts at him. And you see as he reaches for his ticket, you see a little flash of metal that seems to denote his position amongst the police force here in town. So, he just kind of grunts as he gets back his pass and then enters into the lounge area where you're all at and just like plops into the nearest seats and just kind of holds his head like this and kind of looks around and is like, "Hey."
Me?
Yeah, all of you. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm tired.
A little rough.
Yeah, it was a rough day. A lot of homicides.
Oh dear, homicides aren't a pleasant conversation.
They're not, but they're pretty normal in my business.
What is your business?
I'm a detective here in town. And you, ma'am? Oh, I should introduce myself. And he leans forward in his seat without getting out and extends his hand towards you.
Pleasure.
And he's like, "Ranner Hemlock."
Billy Buttercup.
Oh, nice to meet you, Miss Buttercup.
It's a pleasure.
See, you're also getting on the train to go see Dad, huh?
Oh, well, I suppose so.
The rest of you going to his birthday party as well? Is that what this whole train is for?
At this point, I would assume so.
Well, like I said, name's Rainer Hemlock. Good to meet you all.
Theodore Gladiolus.
He reaches his hand out and gives you a good hearty shake. You are?
He would reach out his hand and he go, I'm the deacon, Deacon Kingsfoil.
And he knows the position in church, knows what he needs to do, and gives you a ring a kiss. And you?
Professor Foxglove.
You look pretty busy yourself, as he kind of points to his own bags under his eyes.
Professor, what are you a professor of?
Arcane arts.
Oh, interesting.
He looks over at the other high elf gentleman and says, "You look familiar." The other guy's like, "Nah, just got a familiar face, that's all." Also an investigator, and he's like, "I haven't seen you on the force." And he's like, No, just a private investigator. Detective Belladonna.
Ooh, this is gonna be good.
And you just see him kind of eyeball this private eye, and he's like, "So you don't do any real work, then?"
Fucking sick birds.
And he's like, "Buddy, I do more work, more real work than you probably get paid to do, so let's leave it at that."
Do any of these people look familiar to me? Like maybe I've seen them.
At one of your establishments? Definitely not Rainer. Definitely, it looks like his job is his life, so probably not him. You might have seen Detective Belladonna around, maybe. Go ahead, we'll have you roll the first history check.
Oh, the first one! Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and describe the type of establishments that Miss Buttercup runs for us?
Sure. Miss Buttercup has a few different venues. She is a fan of provocative art. So she has jazz clubs. She has, what's the word I'm looking for? Poetry clubs.
I like it.
Yeah. She's also has exhibitionist clubs and burlesque shows as well. She likes to dabble in all of it.
So, if your characters may have been to any of these establishments, I'll let you make that decision. But yeah, so go ahead and roll me a history.
Oh god, I rolled a 19.
Okay, well, you
on the
will,
die, so that's a 21.
you will definitely be able to tell that for sure Detective Belladonna has been in your burlesque club at the very least.
Detective Belladonna, is it? I've seen you around before.
Well, your places of business are definitely places of information.
And of fun.
I guess so. I don't really have time for it, but...
That's not what I've seen. You know.
Oh.
Yeah, he just kind of turns a little red and then goes to find the beverage cart.
We all have our vices, Detective. I have so many clubs.
As you look around, have any of you partaken?
Sorry.
Deacon, maybe?
We'll see.
Okay.
No, I think I might have seen you at the poetry bar.
You could choose odds or evens.
Evens, we'll say.
Evens, he's been there?
Yeah, sure.
Fuck yes, I was hoping that was gonna
I was hoping it too.
She looks at Deacon and she sees him kind of turning red. And
That's not his name.
No, he's just...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
she looks at him though. She sees him turning red and she just kind of winks at him.
He would probably somewhat blush and then hasten over to the bar cart, and he will pull out his own tankard and ask whoever the bartender is to fill it up and just distance himself from the conversation.
I look over at you and I go, some of my regulars pay high prices for privacy.
I'm sorry, I don't... What?
I'm just making a statement.
Professor, has your life led you to these, or you been busy?
I'm way too busy.
Fair enough.
We do offer private showings for anyone who is a little too busy to come to the establishment on their own.
Never too busy to come to the establishment. I
mean, with that, even you may have realized that Deacon hasn't come alone to the burlesque shows before either. The Duke of Tramwell's definitely been there with him. But anyway, there is a half-elf woman working the bar here in the lounge cars, so she's providing any cocktails or hors d'oeuvres that you would like to partake in. There is oysters on the half shell, caviar,
right.
all the fine snacks, if you will.
I'm sorry, I'm going to be really loud.
I assume Deacon would probably ask for some hors d'oeuvres. He would want the oysters, and then he would request that she just fills his tankard up with champagne.
Okay, yeah, best champagne that they have to offer. And of course, anybody else who would like to visit the second. Warforge actually comes over and says, just to give you folks a heads up, we'll be leaving in about 5 minutes. Once you get to the mansion, you will be driven up by stagecoach. Once you are there, you are asked to disarm yourselves until the evening is over. Just as a heads up. But please do enjoy your trip. If you have any wants, please let him know. And points to the bartender behind the counter. Hors d'oeuvres and drinks shall be served. Just ask. And if you have any questions, feel free to find either myself or my companion. Safe trip. And he closes the door behind him and goes back into what looks to be from this angle here, like the luggage cart. And then the other one goes forward into what looks to be the dining cart. So, you guys have about 5 minutes, so you guys can fill up on snacks before sitting down before the train takes off, or drinks, what have you. You have your time to also travel, as the Warforged will let you know. It's probably about a 45-minute trip to the platform right outside of Drakgard Hall.
Damn it.
I'm a classy woman, but I like a brewski, okay?
So yeah, you guys have 45 minutes to introduce yourself, talk to any of the other passengers, gather food.
So you're a professor, you said? Mm-hmm. What's your name?
Vane Foxglove.
Vane Foxglove. Okay.
You're Buttercup, right? Correct?
Billy Buttercup. And you, again? Your name?
Theodore.
Your last name?
Gladiolus.
This is just me writing these down so I don't forget them.
Most people call me Hawk.
Hawk? Like a bird?
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking like a loogie.
And you, Deacon?
Erican, Kingsfoil.
Okay, and then do the other two.
Ryder Hemlock.
Okay.
And the other one refuses to give a first name. He just says Detective Belladonna is fine.
I like how both of them are...
Detectives?
Yeah. Great.
One's on the police force and the other the private eye.
Like, it couldn't be better.
Did that happen on...
In the draw.
It did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was just assuming it was on purpose because they were gone.
Nope.
I love it.
What? And Ranner is the one who... It's his father's birthday.
Well, it's funny when you look at Ranner, because Ranner is a half-orc. Duke of Trammell is Dragonborn.
Why would that matter? Adoption exists.
I know, I'm just saying. It's easy to make the assumption right away. And you can see at this point that Ranner's just having himself a good old time and helping himself to whatever is even behind the bar. even as the bartender goes out to, like, fill your guys' glasses up or refill you with anything. He's just reaching behind the counter and grabbing whatever. And
detective?
Yeah.
Are you hungry? Are you alright?
Oh no, I'm fine. I'll eat when we get there.
You might want to save some space. It's got quite the meal planned.
Was there a menu?
There wasn't a menu presented yet. You will get your
I was
menu.
like, did I miss it?
Nope. You will get your menu when you arrive. Oh, there's not a menu per se.
Anytime there's an event, he has quite the course.
Oh, when I have events, my course is a bit different.
Touch agrees.
He's hungry. He's like, yes, I am hungry. Why do you keep asking? Just going to be a bunch of comments at the bottom. Feed your cat! Feed your cat, he needs
He
food!
has been fed.
But yeah, Ranra's like, yeah, it's always that fancy shit.
Is it why you're eating so much now?
He's got like 2 bottles in his hand. He's like, yeah, sure.
Mr. Hemlock, could I have some sherry?
He looks behind the counter and with like, again, he's still double fist and he like uses his pinky to pick up a sherry bottle and kind of.
Yep, he's a professional drinker.
Well, there's not a... Okay.
You need a glass?
I would love a glass, thank you.
He pulls out like a pint glass for your champagne.
That's not the appropriate...
Oh, it's dirty, and he just kind of takes his shirt that's sticking out. And,
Is this Did's cousin?
You know what?
cleans the glass, puts the glass out for you.
I'll just drink out of the bottle, thank you.
Okay, suit yourself. He glows over and plops back down in the chair and starts taking a drink from 2 completely different alcohols.
I think you might have a problem.
If he was near the deacon would look at him and just turn his back. So he's clearly not
making eye contact.
Yeah.
Okay. You see as the private eye has just kind of gone off into the corner and actually pulled out this cigar. It looks like he's been chewing on for a little while and lights that up. By chewing, I don't mean eating. I mean
I'm just imagining this soggy cigar butt.
It is a soggy cigar butt.
He's cigars.
It definitely seems to be something that he does, and then doesn't light it, sticks it back in his coat pocket. But
so he's just chewing on it. He's not even smoking it.
Oh, he's smoking it now.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's gonna be 45 minutes. So
well, I pull out one of those long cigarette ends.
Oh yeah,
and a cigarette and stick it in the end, and I hold it out to him, and I'm like, "Can I borrow a light?"
He pulls out this brass lighter and gives it a flick, and
perfect. Thank you. Do you smoke?
No.
I don't have any more ends. You'll have to smoke with the regular.
I don't.
What about you, Deacon?
I don't ingest poisons into my body as he drinks more champagne.
Of course.
Right.
No ingesting by you.
Yes. No sins.
Yes, sin-free.
And then you realize when you're talking to him, turns around.
But yeah, you just hear a small little laugh out of Rainer, and it's yeah, sure. As he takes a pull from the right side liquor bottle, which seems to be a little emptier.
What? He's pooping.
Okay.
Scream when he poops.
Good to know. Glad you know now. But yeah, so it is a trip full of characters here so far. You guys see out the window now as you guys have kind of cleared the metropolis, area of the city and can kind of see some of the mute starlight from the light flooding from the city. The lights, what do they call it? The lights, pollution, light pollution.
Oh, okay.
That's the word. So you can kind of start to see the stars. Some of you may have not traveled too far out of the city. Some of you may have. But it's about 45 minutes. You help yourself to whatever drinks, orders that you would like. And the Warforged comes back in and he says, all right, folks, about 5 minutes out here, so be sure to grab all your belongings, and we shall meet you at the stagecoaches. So,
Did anyone else get a gift for the birthday party?
No, I received mine a little more recent.
Your invitation?
I've been away.
Well, it did say gifts were optional.
yeah, we're all the gifts. As Rainer just kind of takes the last pull of the right side and just kind of chucks it on the floor.
Are you alright?
I'm perfectly fine.
I know counselors that help with overstimulation of senses. It happens a lot at my establishments. People become addicted to things quite easily nowadays.
That sounds like a real trouble, and if I ever come across an addiction, I'll let you know.
Of course.
The world is full of sin and addiction, isn't it?
It's one of my favorite things.
Alright.
I just wink at you again.
Watch it.
So, the train comes to a halt at a small platform, and there seems to be 2 carriages to carry the 6 of you up to the mansion that you now see in the distance. This is not the first time any of you have been to Drakgard Hall, but every time you see it, it is a very large expanse of land. There is, a gated with wrought iron and different motifs of dragons, gate, and as well as a very fanciful stone wall with gas lights leading up all the way to the gate itself and beyond, up to the doorsteps with a winding path that circles around a fountain in the middle. More dragon motif. Water coming out of the mouth of the dragon. Whoever wants to ride with whomever, I don't think it'll really matter. It is going to be about a 10... It look like by carriage. It's probably going to take you guys 10 minutes to get up to the house.
The deacon would probably get into the first carriage.
All right.
I really enjoy making the deacon uncomfortable, so I'll get into the first carriage too.
Oh, I
Rainer really likes...
The carriage back there is for you, ma'am.
I don't believe there were assigned seats.
Are you sure?
I just started adjusting my top.
Rainer's like...
Did I get any sherry here? Do you see
No.
a stain?
You're just...
Rainer pokes his head in, he's like, I don't see any. And he, crawls past you and sits on the other side of you.
Lovely.
So I guess the 2 of you, Professor and Theo, are stuck in a cart along with the private eyes. So he just kind of gestures to you guys to go first. And he's like,
Oh, thank you. Good sir.
after you all.
Just slump against the wall, taking a nap.
All right. Yeah, I mean, your head kind of bounces on the rocky carriage ride, but about 10 minutes later, you guys are up to the giant mansion with 2 doors being pulled apart by the warforged that have driven you, offering you inside. There is an elderly woman in a maid outfit. She seems to probably be some sort of elf. You can't really tell, as she is aged. She is pretty old, even for elf standards.
Nothing wrong with that?
Huh? No, there's nothing wrong with that. But she's probably pressing on even more years than you. She looks like she's been working at this particular household for quite some time. And she introduces herself as Miss Lily the maid, and I would very kindly respect that you disarm yourselves here into this trunk if you do have any weapons on you, as they are not permitted in Drakgard Hall for the remainder of the evening.
Just weapons?
Just weapons.
Not
dear.
like armor or shield.
No, that's fine.
That's me asking the DM.
Yeah, no, she's only asking for weapons.
From my back, which is kind of weird because it didn't look like there was a sword back there. Wonder Woman pulling the sword out of her back clearly was in her butt cheeks.
Yeah.
I pull a long ass sword out from my back and put it in the trunk.
Okay.
The deacon also has a long sword that he would take off from within his robes and give away. And it says he has a light hammer. I don't think he really would have a hammer, but I think that was a previous character.
Oh,
But he would give away all the weapons that he has upon him, and then step out with his cane. I don't know if anyone else got out. He would require someone to help him out. He would look around.
Oh, I would definitely help out the old.
He would accept it after he looked around and realized you were the only person.
Your Rander's already stumbled out the cart.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Deacon. It's my employees that do the sinning for me.
He would grumble and try to catch up with probably Theodore if he saw him, because he's the only person that is of the same standing.
Okay. So he, the next one to de-arm themselves is the private investigator. He kind of comes up and he's like, all right, and he pulls out 2 daggers from his jacket and puts them in the box, and then he kind of tries to move on, but Miss Lily's like, no. And he's like, fine. And he reaches in, grabs a rapier, and throws it in the box. And he's like,
That fucker's got an ankle pistol.
and she's like, come on. And he reaches around his back, pulls out a short sword, and drops it in the box as well. And she goes and points to his wrist, and he's like,
God, this guy.
he takes his arm, he rolls up his suit jacket, and you see that he has an arm blade, and he detaches it and goes,
There has to be someone that's like,
Goodness me, Detective, it's a birthday party, not a murder.
I just...
Maybe there's no murder. That's funny.
that's the mystery.
I just got off of work, so I have to protect myself in my line of work, if you know what I mean. So...
Did you just get off work?
I did, yeah.
We came from the same place.
I don't know. You smell like one of my girls.
Ugh. Hot.
I don't wear women's perfume, I'm sorry.
The scent of her skin, I can smell it on you already.
It's a little awkward that you know what your employees smell like, but I guess.
I use the same freshener in all my establishments. I like that smell.
I would imagine you make them all wear the same perfume.
Yeah, we all have to smell. We have this is the uniform. You wear this slutty outfit and this perfume.
It all smells like buttercups.
Yes.
It all smells like really sweet. It's
Yeah,
like Britney
really
Spears
yes,
perfume.
Yes.
And you see Rander tries to push back, or just push straight past Miss Lily, and she goes, Rander, and he turns and he's like, fine. And he pulls out from his back this great sword, drops it in, long sword, drops that in, and also apparently a javelin.
Where did you even have that?
Jack's kind of big.
It's a pocket javelin.
And he just kind of pushes past her now. Professor? Quarterstaff? All
My
right.
walking stick. Flex.
I can
You
aid
wouldn't
you.
part an old man with a walking stick.
I can aid you with your walking if that's what you need.
Anyway. Yeah, so I hand over 2 hand axes and a couple long swords, one of which has the national crest. Looks very fancy.
An office piece. All right, so you're all disarmed and you're all shown into the study over here from the hall coming in, and you immediately see, standing with his back to the fireplace, you see a very familiar figure to all of you, an elderly-looking dragonborn, not one of the kind of normal-looking dragonborn. He's actually quite a bit slender and a little more wiser than you see some of the more brutish types of dragonborns. He, again, is a very rich and eccentric man, but at the same time, very great inventor. No matter who is really talking about it, he has invented quite a few things, as well as a few crazy things as well. But he is bronze in coloration, and he has those tendril-like hairs that have seemed to almost oxidize a little bit. They were brass, but now in his age, they kind of get to this like green at the end of the tendrils, just because he's a rather old dragonborn. Generally, they don't live longer than 80, and you are here to celebrate his 68th birthday. So he is getting on. He's part of the Dragonborn. And he is wearing one of those fine, like padded silk shirts. He's very comfortable in his own home, but in guest appearance as well. So he's got a long, like satin red robe on with black and gold filigree throughout. He's got a cummerbund underneath the chest portion. He also has a monocle on his right eye, and he has a small cane in his left hand that he uses to help him get around. He's just wearing like house slippers at this point with a very comfortable looking pair of slacks. So, and he greets all of you and says, "Welcome, welcome! It's good to see you all, friends. Thank you for taking time out of your busy days to help me celebrate."
Theo approaches him. Well met again, old friend. It's nice to see you're doing well.
Oh, good to see that you've returned safe and sound.
And of course I have to approach for the bro hug.
Okay. He will give you that one-armed hug with the pat on the back. And shake the hand, bring you in for the one-armed hug, and just says, yes, glad to see that you made it back safely.
Oh, of course, I couldn't bear to miss this.
And Deacon, it is good to see that you were able to make it out tonight.
Good to see you, old friend. The place is beautiful as always.
Well, thank you. We've just had it renovated since the last time that you were here, so...
I can see where all the money went. It's beautiful.
It is, isn't it? Had a few pointers from Miss Lily there, here and there, and a few other people in, but feel like the renovations are pretty much finished up at this point. He takes your hand and kisses the ring as he's, knows the station, knows what he's doing. And he turns to you, Miss Buttercup, and says, "A lovely sight as always, Miss Buttercup. Thank you for joining us this evening."
Of course, any time, my dear.
And he takes your hand and gives it a kiss. And he says, "Professor, welcome, welcome. I'm glad to see that you could make it out of your studies tonight."
Oh, you bastard.
And he just kind of takes your hand and shakes it and says, I am glad that you were able to make it.
No.
I think you'll be happy with tonight." And then he looks over at Ranner and just kind of goes, "Ranner, my boy, how you doing?" And Ranner's like, suddenly got another full bottle from somewhere in his hand, and he says, "Doing pretty well. How about you, Dad?" And he just kind of is like, just because you had a hard day doesn't mean you need to drink whole bottles. And he's like, "Yeah, I think I will anyway, thanks." But then he gives a curious glance over to the private detective, and he says, "I don't remember inviting you. What's your name?" And he says, "Oh, sir, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Detective Belladonna. I'm actually on behalf here from the invitation that you sent to Josephine Caldwell, the writer." And
That's me! But it's not me!
And he says, "Oh, I suppose Miss Caldwell couldn't make it herself then." And he says, "No, she's very distraught that she couldn't make it, but she sends me in regards," and he pulls out, he's like, "Oh, one moment." He reaches in his jacket and he pulls out a small box, and you can see that the Duke is like, this must be first edition of her new book, The Mystery on the Midnight Veil.
Oh my god, that's so meta.
And
Good to see she's reaping the rewards of her trauma.
And he says, "Indeed it is, signed and everything." So she said she was unafraid again that she couldn't make it, but I will be more than happy to answer any questions she sent me with and he pulls out like a small pocket book that looks like he's written in. And he's like, any information that you need. She sent me on her behalf if you have any questions, and says that she'll write to you as soon as she is back in the country. And he just kind of gives a half-cocked smile, like, yeah, okay. And he says, we'll have to discuss, get to know each other later on, but for now, the rest of you are free to wander about the first floor. Please do not go into the basement or the second story, as the renovations have not been finished in those areas yet. But feel free to take a look around. You can stop in the dining room, and there are a number of drinks as well. And in the lounge, there are a number of hors d'oeuvres still, and our chef shall call us when we're ready.
Do you like supporting artists? Do you like nerdy things like Dungeons & Dragons? Then Co-op Creations SD is the store for you. You can find adorable dragons, menacing mind flayers, and jealous jelly cubes to accompany you on your adventures. Need a way to safely transport your math rocks? Then their homemade dice bags will keep your click-clacks warm. Stop on by their Etsy page soon, as stock is limited.
I'm going in.
All right.
I'm going to follow. Somebody ate all the snacks in the train.
So are you following other people around, or is everybody like just checking out different rooms, or what are you guys doing until dinner is served?
Mr. Gladiolus?
Yes.
We didn't get much time to talk on the train. What is it that you do?
I'm the general.
Oh! Okay, that makes sense.
What did you expect with a man wearing armor walking into an event?
I thought you were just being a little extra.
I suppose those types are around these days, aren't they?
Yes,
I'm sure you serve them.
I could serve you as well, you know.
I'm sure you could.
Private showings are always available, and I am very secretive on my higher-up clients.
And then the deacon would probably leave the room and look for, like, he would know where the bar is if there's like a place to...
Oh yeah, in the lounge over
he
here.
Would go to the lounge.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe how it's so secretive when you announce to everyone that you offer them.
The offer is there. No one needs to know if you take it.
It certainly seems like a few people might be partaking.
What is life without a little pleasure?
Oh, I don't disagree.
Hot Cheeto.
That's not his character name.
Hot Cheeto.
Hot Cheeto.
I saw a hot Cheeto.
Tabaxi.
This is not relevant to this game. I saw a hot Cheeto hat at the Halloween store, and it was almost bought it.
So, Professor, anything that you're going to go and
I'm gonna wander off into the study.
wander off into the study? All right. A number of books here. It looks like he has a number of books about himself, even. Seems a little vain. Also a number of patents from past inventions.
How meta can we get? Are there any books about the Detective Marquis?
Oh, no, not that meta. Nope.
There's no fantasy novels
About a man named Marquis.
Not yet. Not until you pull a Marquis in here, I guess.
We'll see if Miss Caldwell writes one.
Yep.
Oh my god, Caldwell's the writer of the books.
So meta!
Oh my god.
Yes!
Well, that may happen.
Have you seen Mystery in the Midnight Vale? Oh, I think you need to watch it.
It's a good one. You see... She was a writer.
I was a writer. And a Yonti. Snake lady.
Oh.
In the library, there are a couple of comfortable chairs if you would like to find a book to peruse through. Yeah, looks like this room has had a makeover since the last time you were here.
Oh, yeah. Just take a book, settle in the chair.
All right. Let's see. Deacon, you said you wandered off to the
Yeah, go
lounge.
to the lounge.
To try
Make
to
himself a cocktail.
make himself a cocktail. All right.
Or see if there's someone in there to serve him a cocktail, better yet.
Yeah, I mean, Miss Elite's probably wandering around, and she says, "Can I get you anything, dear?"
You know what I like, man.
Yeah. Okay. Normal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. She starts mixing your cocktail.
Yeah.
The lounge has changed since the last time. They've got more lavish furnishings. The fireplace is stoked in here, nice and warm, as opposed to the crisp, we'll call it spring air that you guys had coming here, which is probably good for a man your age, getting a little warm.
He'd probably wander over to the fire and, warm his hands and drink his cocktail and look around. Is he by himself besides the help?
Yep.
He doesn't even really acknowledge the help is there.
Sure.
And he'd be like, he told me he had no extra money, but I seem to see he found some to make some changes around here. He would sip and then go and sit down and just take in all the changes that the Duke has made.
All right. Miss Buttercup.
Would someone care for a game of billiards?
The only ones that are left in your room are the PI, Renner, General. You guys are still in the study, as the Duke has left.
Well, the general has left the chat, so...
Fair enough. And you know what? Renner will be like, yeah, sure, I could probably see straight enough to hit a couple balls.
I didn't know you were interested in ball hitting.
Sometimes you gotta crack down on some balls.
Oh, God.
Some people like it that way. You'd be surprised.
Some people rise in pain.
Slapping, huh?
You know, when you take a couple sticks and hit those balls hard enough, usually they get to squealing pretty fast.
I like your stories.
What kind of establishments do you run?
This is all I'm thinking about.
Oh,
The
The general?
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, Rainer will follow you into the billiard room to play a game with you. PI is going to disappear into the ballroom, and you hear those of you that are close enough hear him as he pulls up to the piano and starts playing kind of a
So
somber
what
tune.
room? Oh, ballroom.
The ballroom.
I pulled up a picture
Oh,
of
that's
the
a good
clue
idea.
board.
Is this like, can we just...
Yeah, this is just plain ass
If we
clue.
pull up Clue, it'll...
Yeah, I
clue
pulled up
board.
a picture so I could see.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have a really good spot for everybody to see it.
How did you not, in Dimension 20, create a clue board?
In roll 20?
Yeah, or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Because roll 20 is a
Roll
pain in
20.
the butt.
That's what it's called.
I guess you probably, you could. It's squares, huh?
Yeah, there should be a board image up for everybody that you can find on Google real quick.
Just making sure it's the same layout.
Yeah, it should be. Just standard clue.
Cool.
But yeah, you hear a somber tune. Those close to you enough to hear it, hear a somber tune being played on the piano. And eventually, after a time, you're all called to the dining room, and you're sat at a long table, and the head of the table is the Duke, and the other side of the table, Ranner is taking up a position on as well. So, the Duke gets to talking. He's like, I think you'll all be very pleased with tonight's meal. Our new master chef, is quite the man to be serving the meal. And in through the double doors walks this very large, very rotund, almost alligator in size lizard folk with an apron and a chef's hat on, and he comes in bearing quite a number of plates, and he says, Your first order, everyone, is consomme. And he says, he comes around and brings these covered bowls, and he waits for everybody to lift the cloches on them and takes them from you. And you see as the dude takes a really deep breath of the consomme, and he's like, smells great as ever. Eats like king. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm happy now.
Yes. I'm glad he got a new job. I know he was worried.
So yeah, this very large lizard folk barely able to make it through these double doors. I think the alligator from Princess and the Frog. That's basically the idea that I have for him. Very large and in charge, happy lizard folk just cooking away. So you all get your first meal of consomme. Eventually, he comes in, takes all your plates, serves the third course.
Hey, what is consomme?
Consomme is kind of a type of soup. This particular one is some kind of poultry, as you can taste. It's basically just a broth.
Okay. It sounds fancy. I am not fancy. Not in real life.
Oh, okay. But is Buttercup?
It's soup. Buttercup is fancy, yes. She knows what it is, but
Okay.
I don't. And I was going to Google it, but I thought you would be a good Google.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna Josh it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Josh knows food.
Yep. So the third course comes in, and it is a poached salmon in mousseline sauce, so kind of a creamier sauce. It is whole salmon, so you do get the eyes, and you see the Duke sucks out one of the eyes and slurps it, and just basically has a good old time with it.
Best part.
Fresh eyes.
No. Disgusting.
But yeah, then after that, again, this is a 7-course meal, and
Oh, God.
you're gonna have a good time with it. The next one
Is one of the courses Pepto-Bismol?
Sorbet.
Pepto-Sorbet.
Yeah. The next course, you
crushed up Tums on top of it.
Yummy.
There we go.
the next course you actually get is a marrow in the half bone. So beef marrow in the half bone. Basically, this shin bone has been it's been cut in half.
Oh.
And you're provided with these little spoons, and you eat the marrow out from the center of the bone itself.
Rich people are weird.
Tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Marrow.
And eventually those plates are taken away, and your 5th course is rack of lamb in mint sauce. So however your characters decide to deal with lamb,
This isn't too bad.
in a mint sauce. And then second to last, you are served a punch sorbet in very fancy glasses. Frozen meals, even in this setting, haven't been a thing yet. The microwave hasn't been introduced, so any type of frozen food is definitely a delicacy, as ice boxes are also not a regular
There are
mainstay.
people with magic, okay? There's somebody in the kitchen with Ray of Frost making this.
Sure, maybe a mage, but the normal people, the commoners, the people who move just to pack shit in boxes, they're not going to have an ice box. You may have ice boxes, but not
Excuse
commoners.
me, I think you mean Ray of Frost box.
A frost box.
Frost box. But then, lastly, for your 7th course, you will actually have just some coffee, flavored Turkish style coffee
No, I'm really full and also a little bit
with
energized.
like vanilla wafers on the plates.
biscuits.
Yep, biscuits. And the dude says, hope you all enjoyed this meal presented by my new chef. And he points to Eats Like King again, and Eats Like King kind of takes a bow after everybody noticing him, because he's already started to, like, lick the plates on the way out the door.
The deacon would probably lean over. I assume he's to the right of the deacon, or to
You certainly can be, yeah.
Very close to him. I don't know where you find these people. They look absolutely disgusting, but they do know what they're doing, don't they?
That's right. I mean, as long as somebody knows what they're doing in their field, I feel like if they're the best, I'm going to hire them.
Just every time you catch her gaze, you wink to you.
Just a lot of cutlery moving and like...
And the Duke kind of smiles too at her.
He's probably... we have gone there before as friends,
yeah.
But like... yeah.
But you don't know these other people. They don't know your stuff.
No, they don't know my
Yeah.
You don't know my stuff.
And he says, well, I am quite full. I will be giving a speech here for the birthday. I shall meet you all back in the hall shortly. Or perhaps we should all meet in the ballroom. There's a little more space there. But you're also free to wander about. I will have Miss Lily find you all and bring you back after I digest it.
Those are some spicy bones.
So yeah, you all disperse, and you guys can again discover a little more of the mansion if you would like to.
We just had food. I'm gonna go to the lounge. I'm imagining there's a fainting couch in there.
So you were pink, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to the lounge?
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, there is like a day couch in there.
I literally lay my whole body across the whole couch with my arm up like this.
And make a pose?
Yes.
Yes.
I am just stuffed.
Deacon, where are you going?
He would probably exit the dining room and probably wanting to go get another cocktail.
Go into the lounge?
In the lounge. He would see Buttercup on the fainting couch or whatever, and he'd
get flustered.
And then he would probably go anywhere, and he would just go far. He'd probably go to the study.
Go to the study?
Just to, like, sit down.
And as you go in there, it seems like there is somebody in the study. You kind of peek in there, and you see that the Duke is in there, and he says, "Oh, I'll be out in just a few minutes." So, occupado, basically.
Okay. He would probably just go over into the library then, hoping just to drink some cognac or...
Sure.
See what's going on.
Because there's definitely a liquor cart in every room.
There really is.
Yeah.
If not, is there liquor in there?
What's that?
Is there liquor in the library?
In the library, yeah. There's like a small, like one of those globes that open up. Yeah.
He'd walk over because he probably has been there, open up, and he'd
I
just
want one of those in my real life.
And then he's always carrying like a tankard. It's
Yeah.
very like fancy tankard that he like stores in his robes. He will pull it out and just fill it up again.
All right. Who's purple?
Me.
Where would you like to be?
I want to go check out the kitchen.
Kitchen? Okay.
That was a really good 7-course meal. I want more.
Yeah. You just shake the hand of the
Is Cheetos hot?
Are you gonna live?
Oh my god, is this the homicide?
This is the murder.
Oh no!
Say it was one of the characters. Yeah.
Since it was one of the players. Shit.
Oh no.
But
It
yeah,
went down the wrong way.
as you step into the kitchen, you immediately catch a gaze with Eats Like King, and he is like face deep in one of the mixing bowls and is licking like plates, and he's like, "Oh, I hope you enjoyed your meal, sir."
I did, actually. That's why I came here. I wanted to thank you for such a fine dine.
Well, appreciate it. And he like takes his like his apron and like wipes the snout.
Also, I believe I know you. You're from a recent popularized novel.
Oh yeah, Miss Josephine's novel.
Yes.
I painted him as the hero of the story.
He's like, I had a lot of job offers from that, and I was really, really, really nervous at all of them. But luckily the Duke took me in, and I haven't had to really talk to a lot of people.
You're nervous talking to people.
Sometimes,
famous,
yeah.
They're all fans of you now.
Well, and he kind of blushes, as only a lizard folk could blush, and he's like, I just get nervous and don't know how to deal with it, and he immediately goes back to like taking handfuls of whatever is out of the bowl and starts shoving them in his face.
Does this kitchen look clean then?
Yeah, I mean, most of everything else except for the dirty dishes looks absolutely sparkling clean.
Huh. Really is a master chef. Okay.
Yeah, even any of the prep work from beforehand, the only thing that he has left is dishes.
Okay.
Who was... You were yellow, I believe, right, Professor? Where would you like to go?
Library?
Library? Back to the library? You find the deacon in there, like, with the globe bar half up, and he's pouring something into his tankard.
Oh, it's occupied.
Okay. There's the billiard room, the conservatory, ballroom.
Good riddance.
Conservatory. Okay. There's some quite a bit of like very rare plant life in here. There's very rare flowers. It's basically a greenhouse. The Duke has gotten some of those like very rare like flytrap type plants as well. There's a number of orchids and other flowers that are super duper rare. Like, it takes some money to get these in here. It also takes like quite a bit of upkeep to keep these plants too. So the fact that they're all green and thriving means that he's spent quite a bit of money here.
Looks like a lot of sunlight in there. T-nap.
There's no sun. It's nighttime.
Oh, it's nighttime?
Yeah, but everything is lit up by gaslight, so...
Oh, I'm still taking that.
Just gonna find a chair and slump down into? Mm-hmm. Alright. So Ryan is actually going to stay in the dining room, and he is going to find more alcohol if he can.
This dude is gonna be fucked up.
Any of you out in the hallway that were wandering around sees that Private Eye has returned back to the ballroom and is still playing his somber tune on the piano itself. So, eventually, that tune gets shut down, and almost immediately, kind of creepily enough for those who can hear it, and suddenly you hear a scream as all the gas lights in this mansion suddenly turn off all at once, and you hear a woman, an elderly woman, screaming from the hallway. You hear rustling coming from all around as everybody is in the dark trying to find their way around anywhere in here. You hear crashing and thudding, and then you hear the scream out in the hallway, and you all exit your rooms. Since Renner was here, he will start here. And you will start there, Mrs. Buttercup. And you will start, let's see, we'll put you over here, Deacon. And Professor, you will start here. And that's fortuitous. The PI will start up here. And the General will start there. For moving about purposes anyway, because we are still using the clue rules. And all of you hear the voice of Miss Lily saying, "He's been murdered! The Duke's been murdered!"
The deacon would immediately cast light upon his cane.
Okay.
And start. He'd probably run into the study because that's where he saw the Duke.
Okay.
The rules on it.
So what's your movement?
30.
30.
But slow, because I'm hunched over.
15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, you just get to the corner of that room and peer in, and you don't see anybody in here in the study. The Duke has been gone. there's shuffling in here, like as you saw in the library. From just you trying to find your way around in the darkness as well. But yeah, there's nobody out here, but out in the hallway, right in front of the main hall, you hear movement around, and you see now as Miss Lily is like holding the body of the Duke like in her lap. So you do see that from kind of this area. She's right here. So yeah, are you doing anything else? You've used light, you've used movement.
I think that's all I can do.
Okay.
We're doing D&D rules.
Yeah, I mean, we'll basically go in order from around here. So, Professor, you hear this scream that the Duke has been murdered, and it sounds like it's coming from down the hallway here. Thematically, it does start to rain outside, and these big picture windows begin to flash with lightning and
It's weird. The
rain.
forecast said it was going to be a sunny day.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, you see flashes of light, but the lights are still out. But you do see a light coming down from the hall a little bit further down.
Sure, I'll hold that one.
Okay, what's your movement?
30.
30? 15, 20, 25, 30. So you now see the area down here. It looks like the deacon has a light at the end of his cane. Are you going to double move down that way?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 30 will get you, well, we'll say there you get able to get the angle on it as well. And you see that the Duke is laying unconscious in Miss Lily's lap. PI also has 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And he'll say, to you, Professor, he'll say, what's going on?
I heard shouting down the hall. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that too. Somebody been murdered?
Can I see that? Yeah, like...
You can see that. Yeah.
Looks like the Duke.
He just kind of is like, oh. General, you have 30 feet movement as well?
I want to. Well, I mean, I have to find out what's actually going on. So.
Sure. Well, it's up to you on where you want to move. You're up by the ballroom there. You're starting where.
Okay.
Dr. Orchard.
Yeah, I see where I'm at. We'll go. I mean, I'm just going to run the most direct path I can then.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Double moving?
Yeah.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Get right in front of the dining room, but not able to quite see anything except for like a small light source coming from between the hall and the stairs. Okay. Let's see. This is Ranner, so he is going to be coming running out here. 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So he's actually going to make it to Miss White and his adoptive father, and he's just going to let out this like guttural yell that you hear. Miss Buttercup, are you going to be moving?
I'm going to run towards the noise.
Okay, so we'll do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm assuming you have 30. You'll be able to peek around the corner. You're not all the way around the corner, but you can see around the corner and see Ranner like with his hands in his air there, and you see Miss Lily with the body of the Duke in her lap.
Okay. Can I get closer?
If you want to double move, you certainly can.
I will.
5, 10, 15, 20, so you're right behind Ranner.
Okay. Ranner, what happened?
I don't know. He like leans down and like does a quick pulse check, and he says he's dead. I'm not sure. We have to take his body somewhere, and then just as he's like saying that, Miss Lily like looks up at him and says, "No one touches him. He has things in place for justice." And she reaches down and she touches this this gold with a green gemstone band that he has on his wrist, and like it immediately forms this like glowing green cocoon around him, and actually like floats him into. He has like multi-level stairs, so it actually floats him back and towards the ballroom. So we'll just represent him by this little green D20 here, and you actually see now as he comes floating by all of you in this green form, and he is kind of floating dead in the air, and he floats into the ballroom. And Ranner's just sitting there like, what's happening? And then all of a sudden you hear like bars being shut and doors locking, and you see now, like, Ranner and yourself now see that two of the statues that were flanking the main hall, like the door itself locks and bars itself, and you see two of the like statues come to life and put spears across the door.
Ranner, what's going on?
He looks down at Miss Lily, and Miss Lily is like, "The mansion's on lockdown until we find the murderer."
He was murdered?
Obviously.
But who could have done this?
And she kind of looks around at everybody and is like, "Could be any of you." She even looks at Ranner. Ranner's like, "Why would I?" But yeah.
Okay, well, maybe we should all go sit down and talk about this.
Ranner's like, "Yeah,
You're an officer, so
and
tell us what we need to do."
The rest of you can move in here, just to kind of see what the hell is going on. And the PI Belladonna is like, "I'm also a detective. I could lend a hand here too." And he said, "The first thing we should probably do is study the body, right?" He looks at Ranner.
It floated away in a green sphere.
Yeah, I kind of saw that light. It was a little creepy. I don't know how we're gonna. Hopefully, we can see something of the body. Shall we move to the ballroom?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm moving.
Okay. So we'll just say everybody moves into the ballroom. And you see as Ranner and the PI take turns kind of trying to look through this glowing green bubble at the body, and they're both like, "We can't really examine him from here with this force field that's going on, but it does look like maybe there was some blunt force trauma, but he's bleeding from a few areas, so it could have been a stabbing. I'm really not sure."
Okay. Well, the body was found wherever it was.
It was in front of the stairs, basically.
In front of the stairs, so maybe we should look there for clues.
Well, I think we should look all around for clues, because the lights were off for a good solid 5-10 minutes, so he could have been moved.
Okay. Well, this is a very large place. Should we go in groups? Should we all take a space? I will do whatever you think is best, officer and detective.
Ranner and the PI just kind of look at each other, and they're like, "Well, we need to study the body a little bit more, so the killer could be anybody in here. I mean, it could be even one of us, so be careful if you do decide to go in groups, to watch your backs. I think it best if we," and he looks at Lily, Miss Lily, who's just come in, and he like stares her down, and he's like, "I think it's best if we all arm ourselves at the moment." And
But if one of us is the killer and we all arm ourselves, would we not just be putting ourselves in more danger? I mean, the two of you each took off 5 weapons off your person.
And you see the PI kind of smiling like, "Yeah." I mean, I feel better with my weaponry on my person, just in case it is one of you, so I could defend myself.
But if you're the murderer, then I don't feel comfortable with you having 2 daggers, a sword, 2 hand axes, whatever else that you had.
I didn't have the hand axes. That was the general.
Sorry. Dude,
What?
you all have weapons, I don't know.
Did you just call him dude?
No, I said,
Oh, okay.
no, I did not call him Duke.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, well, Duke uses hand axes.
Yeah, right? Truth. Right? Do we really trust someone who is not from the circle? He doesn't seem to know the Duke.
I don't have any reason to have harmed him. I mean, I came on behalf of somebody tonight, so I feel like that person would...
Neither do I. He's one of my best friends. Why would I harm a friend?
Why would any of us harm?
I don't know why you guys would harm him. He's my best friend. I don't know.
It's a fair point, really.
I don't know why you guys would do that.
We're all close with him.
You are not. He would point at the private eye.
He says that's true, but I mean, again, I had no reason to kill him. I was here on behalf, taking notes of a very close friend of his, so...
Well, I have heard her ratings have slipped. Maybe she is looking for a new mystery, and she has hired you to...
Miss Caldwell has
Sprinkle.
3 bestsellers out right now. I'm a fan, I'm sorry.
But they have not sold as well as the previous ones, have they? I assume
I
she
think
is...
they're some of her best work, but that's just me.
That's subjective, woman. I don't know if she is doing as well as she says. Maybe she's hired this man to come in and spice up her life.
Like a hitman?
Well,
She wrote a book about that once. Oh my goodness.
Knowledge is power, they say. The pen is mightier than the sword.
Well, if you all don't trust me, I'm more than happy to team up with Ranner here and stay within eyeshot of him. I mean, he's a city officer.
He's also the one to benefit most from the Duke's death.
Why would he kill his father? Why are you putting blame on everyone? That just makes you more suspicious.
He was my good friend. Like I said, I would not do anything.
Lady Caldwell wrote a book about a friend murdering their friend for profit, so...
And that did not sell well, did it?
I mean, it's one of my favorites.
Like I said, it is subjective, woman. But it is not one of her best-selling novels. These two have the best...
That's true.
motive.
Her best-selling novel was about the cloistered priest.
Well,
who had an
priests,
illegitimate heir.
they are mere sinners. I, a deacon, can see that of those priests. But these two have the most to gain. A hired hitman, private eye, an heir to a wealthy fortune. Look at all the money that he has spent redoing this mansion. Clearly, Renner has much to gain by this death. You've seen him drink.
I get
He was
the
upset.
impression from his drinking that he didn't like being here. Or that he has a really hard job. I don't really know
Maybe
which
he did
one.
not like being here tonight because he knew his father was going to die.
Ranner, comes up to you.
Right into the room.
Yeah, he literally comes up to you, and there is a fury in his eye, and he says, there is no way that I would kill my old man just to rot in a place like this.
Okay, everyone needs to take a breath because we don't know who the killer is and we can't fight each other. We need to figure out who did this. There's got to be clues, right? There's got to be something. There's got to be a murder weapon, right? So let's look and see. And maybe we go in groups so that we can watch each other and see if anyone's acting odd.
Well, should we examine the body and see what really killed him?
And I think that's what the detective and the officer are trying to do. It also sounds like a really good love story.
Detective and the
The
officer?
detective and the officer. Yeah.
Officer and a gentleman?
I'm going to write to Josephine about this.
You see the PI has taken out a notebook and is jotting something down and sticks it back into his...
That's a good story for Josephine. I would buy... that'll be my 10th autographed copy.
Like I said, I do not trust these people, but I think we should investigate. What do you think, General? You and I? You have your military background. We can take a look and see what really may have happened to our friend.
Okay, Professor. Would you like to investigate with me? No. Well, then I want the General.
I don't know if he wants to associate with people of your level.
What my level? You don't find any problem associating with me?
And so you go over to the Duke and can I make a medicine check?
Yeah, go ahead and do a medicine check.
Okay.
It will be at disadvantage because he's caught up with this green glow.
Because of the spell?
Yep.
That's a 19 or a 1.
Okay.
So a 7.
Yep, 7. So there is definitely some kind of... yeah, he did.
Yeah. It seems to be not alive.
Yep. It definitely seems like there is some kind of blunt force trauma on his body, especially near the neck. But besides that, there is like some blood as well, so there may be additional wounds. You just can't tell from here.
It seems someone hired, maybe attacked him in the neck region.
With what?
I'm mere deacon. I don't deal with things like this, but something blunt, maybe? I don't know. There's blood everywhere. Looking for something with blood.
Okay.
Blunt force, not magical.
You can't tell from here unless you do an Arcana check.
You do an Arcana check?
Okay.
I think it's 14. Yes.
14. Yeah, it just looks like straight up damage, like probably not a spell. Something physically hit him.
I'm leaving.
You're just leaving?
Yeah.
Okay.
We should go together so it's not so scary.
No, you all are idiots.
Where is the professor heading then?
I'll head to the study.
To the study. Yeah. So, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20.
No, I'm just walking.
Oh, just 30?
Yep, just casually.
Some of the lights have been restored in here. It's down to a very low glow in here, so any of the lights in here is all going to be considered dim light. So if you do not have dark vision of your race, you will need a light source.
Perhaps the deacon is onto something with traveling in pairs. He was quite apt to get away from us. We should follow.
You mean the professor?
I'm not following him. He was rude to me. What if he's the murderer? What if he kills me if I go follow him?
No.
Oh.
You follow him. You're the general.
The deacon seemed pretty disinterested in going with you.
The deacon is standing right there.
I don't...
If the professor is the murderer and he
It's
kills
okay.
me, I'm going to haunt you. I want you to know that.
I-
And then I go follow the...
Okay.
Please don't.
You were pink, right?
Yeah. Professor!
What?
We have to travel together. It's safer.
Are we going in groups? Is that what we've decided?
I suggested that maybe...
The general
She
asked
followed.
me to come with you. I cannot ignore an order from the general. Well, I mean, I could, but it seems very unlawful.
Let's go then.
Okay. Why are you so angry?
I'm tired.
Well, I can't help you with that.
All right.
I mean, I could.
Later.
All right, I follow.
Okay. Deacon? General? What are you guys doing?
Where was the last place anyone saw the Duke? I mean, did anyone see him?
Ranner is like, I only saw him in the dining room. I stayed in the dining room, so PI was like, I saw him go off like towards the hallway, but I went back towards the ballroom here. Deacon?
Well, after that delicious meal, I did see him in the study. I went to go in there to peruse. He was busy and said he would be out later, so I went next door and grabbed a cocktail myself. And that's when the lights went out.
Well, perhaps the study is a good place to start.
It seems the logical place. The deacon would walk up to the general.
Okay. You guys are in the room
Yeah.
together. That's fine.
Let's try some shit out.
Okay.
He would touch the general on the shoulder
Mm-hmm.
and say, "You're the only person here I can trust." And he is going to cast Charm Person on him
Okay.
and see if that is helpful.
Okay.
I'm just throwing shit around. I've never used
Fair
the
enough.
spells, but let's give it a shot, man. So you have to make a Wisdom saving throw.
With your General background, though, you will have advantage because there's been a number of times where enemy combatants have tried to pry information from your head.
Fair. Okay.
This is probably gonna end up bad, but let's do some shit, people.
Watch me roll 2 1s.
Let's do it!
Okay, 16.
Oh, yeah.
2, so 15.
You succeed.
Okay.
Probably just barely.
Yeah, it was 14.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
So, meta, it would have been higher, but I fucked with the point buy system. I had, like, in theory, had made this old man, and he was, like, negative, like, stealth, negative, like, strength, and I was like, oh, he needs to be a little... And so his, like, wisdom and intelligence were, like, 18, 19. And, like, so they're, like, the DC was really high. I was like, low roll really low. So I couldn't stand not having a, like, see negative numbers, so...
Fair enough.
Bad.
I feel that.
I was trying to, like, create a really weak character, and then I was like, oh, weak. But,
So yeah, you, General, you feel this little surge of energy. It's something that you've definitely noticed on the battlefield before, having probably been captured at some point in time by enemies of your nation. And it seems like the Deacon's trying to befriend you in unnatural ways.
Deacon, there are more appropriate ways.
I don't know what you're talking about, and
I've felt it before.
I don't
Why
know.
we're not there? You made 3 jokes!
I don't know your life, sir, but you are the only person here I can trust. Let's go prove that these other people have hurt our friend.
Of course. You're gonna kill me.
Am I gonna do it? No, not that I'm aware of, but maybe. Are you the murderer? I'll kill you, the murderer. You hurt my friend.
All right. So yeah, I mean that was your action. Are you gonna move, Deacon?
Come, General. Let's go see him in the study.
You gonna follow them to the
Oh, is that
study?
where they're going?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll follow the people.
Okay. So we're
Is your
Scooby
male
doing this.
Half elf? High elf.
Hi, Elf.
High elf. Oh,
We're Scooby.
No wonder you're so snooty.
but you're like a dirty high elf.
Oh.
Dirty, right?
General, are you following Scooby-Doo following as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
So as we leave and before we get to the group, I'll say we should tell them to check the library first. I'm not sure we can trust them.
Well, I was in the library when it happened. I saw nothing.
Yes, but they won't. Considering the professor wanted to leave so quickly, I'm a little concerned.
Did send me to slaughter. He sent me to slaughter.
I apologize.
Oh,
Please do not die.
I'm trying to. So you want them to go there so
I
we
want-
can just study really what's going on?
Yes.
Oh yes. You seem to be friends with Miss Buttercup. Maybe you should suggest it. I choose not to.
Everyone's
Associate
friends
with her
Miss
kind.
Buttercup.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys Scooby-Doo out here. Like I said, it's very dim light right now, so there are a number of small gas lights, but it is dim light here, so
I
if you
still
do
have
not...
light on my cane.
Okay.
I assume that still holds up, right?
Yeah, I think light should be...
I don't
Yes.
remember.
Good.
How long
Let me
it
double
lasts.
check.
It lasts for an hour. So
Yeah, you're
I
fine.
would continually cast it because it's a cantrip, as need be. I assume you're. What are you? What's your race?
Human.
So you can't see in the dark.
Nope, I'm blind as fuck.
So yeah, you're being led by the light of the cane.
Can I?
Go ahead and tell us what your light looks like, since you're from the Church of the Silver Flame. Does it got like a silver flame
Sure.
ish to it?
Yeah, I would say it's like a like in my mind, like a hue light. It has different ranges. It'd be a very like bright white, like with a silver. Like it's not
Okay.
like it's not a warm light. It's a concentrate, which makes sense to you probably. It's like a very bright white,
Gotcha.
very blind. It's a very Gandalf like flashlight.
Yep.
But knowing that he is a human,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see in the dark, I would probably cast light on him, move the light to him. Can I do that as like a bonus action?
Yeah.
It reflects off my armor, and the entire area is lit.
I just created a room.
There we go.
Billy just starts dancing.
Yeah. What do you have on you that I can cast light on?
I mean, you could probably just cast it on my armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can touch him
I
on
would
the
just like
shoulder.
to, if you have like an epaulet or something, can I like be like,
yeah, he
"Here,
probably has a
friends,
pauldron as part of his
This'll help. And then
dress.
because like even if I was to leave him, he would still have light cast on him, correct?
As long as...
Well,
I don't
up to the
think this-
hour, right?
Yeah, up to the hour, because it's not a range or anything.
No, it's just touch.
Yeah.
So I could touch him and be like, here,
I have
friends,
another one.
this'll help in the darkness. Because the lights are still
I
out.
like those.
Mhm. Well, they're really low, like really low.
Yeah, because I can see
I got
like up to 120 feet in.
And this is going to give him a 20-foot radius of bright light. So.
Yeah, so
So yeah, General, you come out and the deacon, before you guys left, the deacon's like, hey, you should tell Buttercup to, maybe you should be the one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as we approach them, I'm assuming you're a not sure the word, but well, being a professor, you're good at, I don't know, looking for things. Maybe
Yes.
you're smart. I'm not sure.
Of course I'm smart.
That's good. Perfect. So the deacon mentioned he had seen our friend in the library just before we were meeting. I don't know anything about libraries, but I'm sure maybe you can find something in there.
I'll take a look.
Perfect. And please don't kill her because I don't want her haunting me.
We'll see.
Oh, I'd be a really fun ghost, General. And I just, like, flip my hair. Oh, no, my hair's up in a bun. I just kind of wink at you.
Always the businesswoman.
Girl's gotta make a living.
I appreciate it.
all of her girls show us the business.
Take her drink.
The boys show you the business too, Deacon.
I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am.
But I do.
All right. So then, are you two moving into the library?
Insight check!
Insight check.
On who? The deacon?
Are you inciting on the deacon? Okay.
I was like, the library?
No, I was...
Yeah. This is a library!
No, I'm not.
Oh my god!
I wanted to insight if he was telling the truth about the Deacon seeing him in the dead guy in the library before. That's what I wanted to insight about.
Okay.
Okay.
He was alive when I saw him in the library.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. That's a 14.
Oh, do I need to, roll something, I guess?
You're asking the deacon, or were you
I
asking
am
the general?
inciting what he said, that the Deacon said that he saw the dead guy when he was alive in the library the last time.
Yeah, that he was alive.
Yeah.
The deacon.
So I want to see if I believe him.
Yeah, I mean,
The 14.
the deacon, as far as he knew, the general, as far as he knew, said that the deacon had seen him alive, so he's absolutely telling the truth.
In the library.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was a study.
Yeah.
Study.
Oh, study.
The deacon was in the library.
But you are inciting him about the library.
Yeah.
So
I'm seeing if he's telling me a fib.
Oh.
I'm seeing if he's telling me a fibby.
which part are you focusing on?
On if the library is where we should go investigate, because that's where the last place the guy was saw alive.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a deception roll. Since we know this is a deception. Since you're trying to kind of veer them towards the library.
New numbers, it's very hard. I feel like I just adjusted to the other numbers.
It is +2.
Can you get advantage because I'm helping him with the
You're helping him? Yeah, if you're wanting to steer them to the library,
Yeah, we
absolutely.
can conspire together to get them there.
Yep.
21.
21. So, what was your insight?
Only 14.
Yeah, you absolutely believe them that, because they're corroborating their stories. They're like, yeah, absolutely, I saw him
Okay.
alive in the study before, or alive in the library before.
Well, Professor, shall we go to the library?
Us distinguished gentlemen, we
Yeah.
just stay together.
Stay safe.
You as well.
Okay.
I will haunt you if the professor kills me.
So the two of you are then moving into the library?
No offense, but I was told that I couldn't trust anyone, and then he told me to come with you. So please don't kill me.
Why did you trust him to tell you that?
Because he's the general of the army or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, you haven't given me an opportunity to trust you because you've been rude to me.
Has anyone been nice to you?
The general has been kind of nice. The dead guy's son played billiards with me.
Right?
You racked his balls?
Mhm.
His balls.
What?
You don't know what we did in that billiard room. We were there by
I was
ourselves.
drinking in the library.
Mhm.
There's plenty of room on that table. For
There's plenty of room on the table. Hey, if you guys shine a black light on the table,
Yeah.
it wasn't. It's
Why
not
was there a wet spot?
Is there a blood print? Anyway,
Not there before.
so Professor and Miss Buttercup, you're moving into the library.
Mhm.
Okay. So you guys move in here. You guys will have to do a little more moving down to the study here. So 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 with singular movement. Are we going double movement just to reach the study?
Yeah,
Right?
as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
double.
Yeah, obviously you'll be able to reach the study. The two of you in the library. So, now that we are into the investigation, there are a couple things that you can investigate about the room. Personally, you are all looking for something that the Duke has promised you. So, one of the investigation rolls that you can make is for the treasure that you're seeking, a clue to the treasure that you're seeking. So, is it money? Is it a deed? Is it blueprints? You can search these rooms for that. Or you can investigate about clues about the murder to try to find out if there is anything amiss in the room itself. You can also look for the murder weapon or anything that could be used as a weapon. Before you all left, Ranner will, and the Private Eye will take you both aside, both groups of you aside, and say, hey, I've got a little extra money on me. If you bring me the clues, I'll make a donation to you. I see that, and the PI will say, I see that the statues out front are actually token-based, so I'm assuming if you put enough money into them, they'll clear away. I've seen this type of configuration before, so I've got a little extra money on me. Ranner will also tell you that he's more than willing to conscript you to try to find his father's murder as well. So, if you bring them any clues, they would be more than happy to pay you for it. If you do not like the clue that you receive, the clues that I handed to you, the stack, you can replace a room clue or a murder weapon clue from your stack into my stack here for each of the different rooms. That way, if somebody else comes to investigate, they will find your clue instead.
So these clues we can leave as a fake clue.
Mm-hmm.
Can we look at these now?
You absolutely can. Go
Oh,
ahead.
we can look at the whole stack?
Mm-hmm.
Can we?
Those are your stacks.
Can we
Oh my
potty
God, there's
break?
words on there.
Can we
You-
potty break before we start going into exploration?
But first, we'll let you guys take a look at the clues. If you haven't already, take a moment,
Oh boy.
and we will be right back.
Thank you for tuning in to the Campaigns of the Plains channel. Catch new material every Friday on YouTube, and make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.